A quick update for you all because of the holiday week. We got some show programming changes. Monday, Ask Nick is going to be dropping same time. Enjoy your Labor Day. I'm guessing most of you will get to it on Tuesday. The Bachelor, because it's a 2-night event, they have 6 fantasy suites to go through. Bachelor airs Monday and Tuesday, so the recap will air right after Tuesday's episode on Tuesday night, so that'll essentially be your Wednesday episode. And then going deeper, and we have a major announcement. Nate from Michelle's season, Michelle's ex Nate, is going to be with us for Going Deeper. That's going to be dropping on Thursday this week. I don't think Nate's done many interviews. No one's really heard from him since the breakup. Certainly there's a lot of rumors out there. It'll be a chance to get to know Nate, and I look forward to it. Maybe he'll shed some light on the breakup. We'll see what he has to say about that. And then Friday, we are moving the special update episode of all things Ask Nick, texting office hours. It's a really fun episode. A lot of updates for you. I know you guys have been asking for it, so excited to finally bring it to you. And again, if you guys like it, you enjoy it, you keep coming back, we'll make this a regular thing. So let us know what you think, but that's what's going on this week. Let's get to our callers.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Ask Nick edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by Allie and Amanda.
Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day. Is that today?
Yeah. Where most people in America are taking some time off, barbecuing, and laying by the pool.
We're here to labor for you.
We are still churning out content.
What better way to celebrate Labor Day than some labor?
God, this summer went by fast, and I feel like it's really just because we have just continued giving you all such great content all summer long.
It's also because you live in LA.
I just feel like we've been grinding.
No, living in LA kind of zaps the summer.
Yeah, it messes me up seasonally.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I don't get into rhythms of the
Tomorrow
year. Like, whenever
Christmas,
people are
you're
crazy for liking the Boston or Chicago winter, it's like, yeah, because it gives it humbles you. And then spring comes and it's like this whole cycle of like mental health that you have to navigate and deal with.
Yeah, you can like it now because you live in beautiful weather.
I've always liked it. I've always said that
when you were walking around campus
in February,
walking around campus at Northwestern,
wearing a sleeping pillow as a coat, or a sleeping bag as a coat.
You liked that?
You liked, yeah.
Having 10 minutes to go out in the terrible cold and then sweating when you got inside.
Pitch blackout.
Yeah.
First of all, they're changing daylight savings time, long overdue, thank goodness. Second of all, do I enjoy it constantly? No. But do I like it overall as I really think it builds character. Like, I would not want to raise my kids somewhere where there's not a winter, because I think it's something where if you don't get exposed to it young, you're never really able to assimilate to it. And I really do think it makes you more adaptable. There's
other ways to build character.
Detasseling corn is one of them.
You're in the corn, aren't you?
Shoveling.
Well, we have a great episode for you. If you want to pre-order a book, there's this cool book called Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday, coming out on October 4th. I signed 500 copies of them, and get them while they're hot, if they are still available. I don't know if they are at this point because I would have already announced it early in the week. But either way, it would really mean a lot if you guys pre-order it. And I really think if you listen to this show, I promise you there will be a handful of helpful nuggets in there. It'll make you feel good about yourself, and it will guide you down a path of a happier dating life. I think. I don't know. I hate selling my book, but I really think it's good. And I really would mean a lot if you guys pre-ordered it. So there's a link in the bio and on my Instagram. Just go pre-order it. Just right now. Just go pause this show. Just come on.
And it's like the ideas that were born in Ask Nick have like grown up a little bit. Like, this is them, and like now there's young adults in this book. So it's like, if you're a listener,
I reference some stuff from the show in the book, some of the callers, like it's a fun trip.
Like, you're already a day one of this book. Yeah. So like, see how it blossomed.
Do it, buy it, pre-order it. And don't forget about, obviously, the Fantasy Suite recap. Big week lined up. Oh, and if you're listening right now,
Monday morning,
Labor Day.
You're not working?
Come shoot your shot.
You need help texting something on your day off?
There you go.
We are waiting here, working away.
We are laboring on Labor Day.
For you.
Yeah.
And you alone.
Also, sending your questions to asknick@castme.com, cast with a K. I want to also point out, I think it's very important that all of the people who call in are anonymous. Yes, they give their first names. They're not their actual first names. Their ages are real, but we want to protect the identity of these people. With that said, some of you listening have some juicy shit out there and some crazy-ass stories, and we would love to hear them and help you through them if you want. And just know that we don't want to show your face, and we won't share your name. Hell, we can do whatever you want to protect your anonymity. So write in those stories. If anyone's been like on the fence of writing in, just know we'll protect your identity. Also, if you are in a situationship, and I know this might be a challenge, but if you are someone who's just like, I've been dating this person for 6 months, 12 months, situationship, I don't know why they won't commit, they act like my boyfriend, they act like my girlfriend, et cetera, you know this story. I think it'd be a lot of fun if we can get you both to call in, you know? Like, kind of like a mediation, but also like a, between me and you, the hopeful person in the situationship. We want it to be like a shit or get off the pot situation. We want you and them to be on the phone and be like, why are you still not hanging out? Why is this situation still going on? I want to get the answer from both of you. And I think that also could be a lot of fun and entertaining. But I also think it would be, helpful to you. So if you're in a situationship, convince them to come on the show with you. Be like, I'll stop asking you to date me if you come on the show, whatever it is. So I encourage you guys to bring yourself and your situationship on. Let's just try it out. I don't know how you're going to convince them, the person who doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, to come on a podcast to talk about the relationship you want to be in. But I think you can do it. And it'll be anonymous. Go order my book. Please, come on. Do it. Let's get to our callers.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
Pretty good. My name's Stephanie and I'm 31.
How can I help, Stephanie?
So it's kind of a long story, but background is I'm newly divorced. And the catalyst to my divorce was my husband having what I would describe as an emotional affair with our au pair, which is basically a live-in nanny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we have 4 children.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. That sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks.
How did you find out?
I did a little snooping and saw messages between them when I was, suspecting.
How
and then I
the
confronted
nanny?
him, and she is 20. Well, now she's 23. She was 22 at the time.
How old is he?
31.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who hired the nanny?
I did.
Sucks.
Yeah. Big regret there.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. That sucks.
Yeah.
And did he ever own up to it?
No. He still denies that it was cheating, but
well, that's semantics.
I don't know. You had an emotionally intimate relationship with someone else, so I don't know what else you'd call it.
He acknowledges that, though, at least.
He acknowledges that he hid their friendship from me.
Okay. Well, fuck him.
Intentionally.
Yeah. He acknowledges that he hid their friendship. What was like the hardest text message to read, just for context?
It was, so I, at the time, was working as a travel nurse.
Okay.
So I would go to another state like 4 days a week, and I would only be home a couple days a week. And I saw texts between them on a day that I was home and we were spending time as a family. And she texted him, "I miss you." And he said, "Yeah, I miss you too." And when I confronted him about that, he said, "Well, it's because we couldn't hang out because you were around."
Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Well, if there is, BetterHelp is here to help you find that happiness and help you achieve those goals. It's a tough world out there, and we often can get in our thoughts and create anxiety and stress, and that doesn't make us happy. It kind of gets us down, and when we're down, we're not our best selves, and if we have goals that we want to accomplish, sometimes they can get in our way, and while BetterHelp is helping change all that, you can start communicating with a licensed therapist, a mental health professional, in just under 48 hours by going to BetterHelp. You take a short quiz, tell them what you're struggling with or what you want to talk about, and they will connect you with a licensed therapist that will fit your needs. And the best part is you can always switch until you find the right therapist for you. It's super convenient. You can do it anywhere, truly anywhere. in the world. As long as you have internet service from your home, from your car, from your office, from maybe you're on vacation somewhere, you just want to go into a closet and talk to a therapist, you can do that too. You can do video chats. You can do it without any video, just over the phone. Maybe you want to keep that anonymity. Maybe that makes you feel more comfortable. Whatever it is, BetterHelp is making it super easy and convenient and comfortable for you to get the therapy that you deserve. The best part is it's way more affordable than in-person therapy. So that's a bonus. Visit BetterHelp.com/Viall Files. That's better, H-E-L-P. And join the over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states. Right now, the Viall File listeners can get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp.com/Viall Files. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Viall Files. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Canva, design like a pro.
I love Canva.
We love Canva.
Canva is making Allie and Amanda look like they went to Northwestern.
And it's like we almost didn't. And I think sometimes I always forget too of it's not just like stagnant or like paper or print things. Like they also have a ton of video elements. You can have moving graphics. I use them for the end of our TikToks for like the call to action. The fonts are coming in and out. We have like the logo pop up. So it's not only things you can print and like put in frames, but also like moving graphics that you can add to your videos, to your websites, to everything.
You get Canva, your birthday invitations, your holiday cards, your truly any neat reason that you have to correspond with someone will be leveled up.
Design like a pro with Canva Pro right now. You can get a free 45-day extended trial when you go to canva.me/VIALL. That is Canva, CANVA.me/VIALL for a free 45-day extended trial. Canva.me/VIALL.
That was probably the hardest one for me to hear. Because I'm like, you don't even text me that you miss me and when I'm working in another state.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, I'll do it.
So I fired her, obviously. She went to work for a different family in another state. I thought he led me to believe that their communication had ended. And I was ready to just, okay, we're divorced. I'm going to leave that in our marriage. Let's move forward. You know, friendly. It was a super smooth, quick divorce. I'm like, I just want to be friendly, be on good terms for our children. Yeah. He was still part of my family, all of that. Up until about a month ago, he told me that they are in fact dating. And not only are they dating, she is moving in with him. And so in like 2 weeks. So she just moved in a couple weeks ago. Ugh. And he has my kids half the time. So I'm really struggling with how to move forward with my relationship with both of them, being that they're going to be a part of my life. Like we have 4 kids.
Yeah.
And I want to do what's best for my kids, but I also want to like set boundaries for myself and protect myself. At what point am I being petty by saying, no, she's not allowed to come around to things versus being like having reasonable boundaries for myself. And so I'm really struggling with that part, especially because my kids love her.
Tough situation.
Yes.
Listen, I think the fact that you are even thoughtful about like worrying about being petty tells me that like you are miles ahead of where a lot of people would be in your shoes. Like this is a really shitty situation for anyone to deal with. And I'm sure it's really hard and you must be really struggling, but like you're really putting on a very thoughtful and like, even if it's your kids, not easy to do for all people. So I think you should give yourself some credit. I mean, the fact that he admitted to you that they are now dating, like, it's like you did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you outed yourself and whatever. It's water under the bridge. We're now divorced. I don't really need closure from you, so to speak. Yeah. But my hope is that once he like stops trying to act all defensive or whatever, you almost kind of have to kill him with kindness. And here's what I mean. It's just like, my hope is that he's not a total fucking prick. And that my hope is that you can say to him is like, listen, if you're happy, I'm happy, but please just understand how difficult this is for me to try to process. And if I have to like have her in my life with our kids over time, then so be it. But I'm really asking for you to try to empathize with how challenging this is for me. And it would really mean a lot if we could have some boundaries for a while because it's really hard for me to see you guys together. And just see if he can just not be a fucking prick about it and just say, okay, I'm going to try to like work around this for a period of time. That's like eventually he's going to stop and eventually she's going to get more emboldened and she's going to get more like, well, this is our relationship and she's going to be, she's going to stop giving a shit about your feelings eventually. But like, hopefully they're not little fucking monsters and they can at least not be assholes about like forcing you to accept their relationship so fast.
Yeah. Which
like,
is basically what I feel like has happened. He is very good at making me feel like I'm the bad guy here, like because I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, as much as you can.
Like,
let me ask you this, because here's the challenge in this situation. The challenge in this situation is your ego doesn't want to give him the satisfaction of letting him know you care. But I think, unfortunately, for your ego, the most productive way to try to get your ways is to make him feel bad without anger. You just like make him pity you. like
humanize yourself.
Yeah. You know, like what he did is if he doesn't feel bad about it, my hope is that he does. My hope is that he knows he did a shitty thing. He doesn't want to acknowledge it because he's defensive and whatever. But if you, like Amanda said, like humanize yourself, allow your ego not to like poke the bear, like for your own mental health, just like fall on the sword and be like, yeah, you fucking hurt me. I'm sad. This is really hard to see. Like, if you're happy, I'm happy. I want you to be happy, but like, can you just help me try to be happy too? Like, if that doesn't like resonate with him, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
But like, unfortunately, if you fight fire with fire, it's going to be easier for him to not give a shit about your feelings and to prioritize her. And try to make you like the bad guy, which you're not. But like, unfortunately in this situation, like, you know, because you have kids, you have to try to maneuver in ways that most people would just be like, fuck you, I'm done, I'm out. I never, you know, like, you know, wash your hands of them and be done. And unfortunately you can't. Do you have any leverage when it comes to custody?
No, we split 50-50.
Okay. Yeah.
And we didn't even like, our divorce was, as far as divorces go, really smooth and easy. Like, we didn't use lawyers or anything. We just agreed on everything and parted ways. And I think that's the other hard thing is because, so we started dating when we were 15. So he's always been like my best friend.
Yeah.
And when we divorced, we both agreed, like, you know, we still want to be, you know, friendly, as much close to friends as we can be. And we both felt like it was really amicable, and we agreed, because this was the catalyst for our divorce, but there were other issues. We got married at 19 and we both agreed we were just better apart. And so I was like in a really good place with him, ready to move forward amicably. And then this happened. And so I'm also like mad at him because I'm like grieving, because I'm like, I can't have that relationship with you now.
Would it make it feel better if he just like owned up to what he did?
Yeah, I think it would. And I've tried to get him to, honestly. And he's just like, no, it wasn't cheating. Like, no one moves in with someone after dating for 2 months. Your relationship was built while we were married. But he's just like, no. And so that part has super frustrated me, because I feel like you can't be sorry for something that like you won't admit you did. And so I think it would help if he would just like admit it and actually express actual remorse, but he never will. So I've given up on that.
Yeah, I wish I had a better answer for you. It's tough.
I'm like already thinking ahead to like Halloween and Christmas. I'm like, he's probably gonna want her to come around.
And like, listen, you're gonna have to see him. You exchange kids. You're gonna have to see her at some point. But why are you hanging out with him?
I mean, when we split, we still envisioned, I guess, like we don't want to do like alternating Christmas and Thanksgiving. Like, we're still going to spend Christmas together and that kind of stuff. But
I know that's ideal.
This changes everything.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my point. And you aren't the only parents who have been able to, you won't be the only parents who could successfully raise their kids by having 2 different Christmases and 2 different households. You know, that's better. than having a very tense and awkward dynamic and forcing everyone to hang out because your kids can't handle like Christmas Eve at mom's and Christmas Day at dad's.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
So
Yeah.
like, regardless if it's cheating or not, he needs to he must be able to understand the challenge of him now dating your former nanny. So like, drop the cheating part, you know, like stop trying to get him to admit to him. Just say, listen, like you're now like dating my former nanny I hired, and now they're going to be like a potential stepmother to my kids. That's hard for me to accept. And if I started like dating your coworker, it might be hard for you too. And so like, can you at least just accept that that's hard? And just because it's hard, I'm not going to be able to do what we planned. Yeah. And that's okay. Maybe we never were going to be able to, because like you could easily meet a guy next week that triggers your ex-husband, that makes him jealous. And that wouldn't shock me at all. Just keep in mind, you were his best friend too since you were 15. You have an incredible like connection with your ex-husband, and him having this new side piece nanny like doesn't change that. It's new. It is exciting. I'm sure she makes him feel ways that you didn't for a period of time, because that's what happens in a new relationship, because you guys probably took each other for granted and all the things that happens in relationships. And maybe you guys weren't right for each other. You guys met at 15 and got married at 19 and had 4 kids and just like made it work. And you probably are 2 different people. A couple things you can do is just, again, try to focus on that, because maybe you will be better off. You're still incredibly young. You got so much in front of you. Like, this thing is obviously really hard on the ego, and it really sucks, and it's easy to want to feel embarrassed. But like, when it comes to like what the community thinks, people are talking way more shit about him than they're talking about you.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Without question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not even a doubt in my mind. Even his buddies are rolling his eyes. They think it might be funny and cool that he's like fucking the nanny, but everyone's kind of not taking him seriously. And I guarantee you, he's also self-conscious of what people might be thinking about his choices. This is all to say that might hopefully make you feel a little bit better about like just like looking at this picture, because it's going to be very easy for you to be really hard on yourself and really kind of beat yourself down about how embarrassed you should feel and how you can't show your face and all these very, understandable feelings you might feel. But I think you really have to remember that he's definitely the clown in this situation, not you.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe those two are meant to be. Maybe they'll end up having a successful marriage forever and ever. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Like, odds are it's a short-term thing. And if it's a long-term thing, eventually you just won't give a shit.
Right.
If I were in your shoes right now, my biggest goal right now would be I'm not going to let this affect the next 5, 10, 15 years of my life. This is not going to dictate my happiness. This is his decision. It's a little embarrassing. I'm going to either learn to laugh about it or whatever. Shit like this, certain people would let this like ruin them. I mean, we've had a couple of weeks we had a caller call in about a mom who's like, it was about a wedding. I don't know if you remember, and her mom was all upset because she couldn't show up. And it was like, maybe she was upset that like he fucked the nanny 30 years ago.
Right.
Like, don't be that, like, and you have the choice. And if I were you, I would be like, I'm not going to fucking be that person, because at the end of the day, he made a choice that impacted you, but like that was his choice and he decided to do that. And minus like what you call embarrassment, it's really more embarrassing for him. And you still have a lot of life in front of you to like find a partner that really makes you happy, makes you feel appreciative, and can be a great stepfather to your children and make your ex-husband feel jealousy. I think right now the best thing you can do is just try to like adjust your perspective as much as you can to like, not have the down days and not getting in your head, which are going to happen. And so when it does happen, don't beat yourself up. Challenge yourself to not live in those kind of feeling sorry for yourself moments, because it can be addicting to feel bad. It really can.
That makes sense. I think that's kind of what I've been like trying to focus on the most, is not letting his actions like have the power of disturbing my peace.
Yeah, that's great.
It just makes me miserable all around.
In the short term, I think you just try to have an adult conversation with him and saying, regardless of what happened, this is obviously incredibly hard for me to like experience and live with. And if I have to like accept it over time, then I will. But right now, like I'm not doing this like we're all hanging out together thing.
Yeah.
Like that's not petty. I'm sure a lot of parents talk about doing what you two talked about, but it's like your exes, you know, and she's going to fucking hate it too. What you guys agreed on wasn't honestly realistic. So don't feel bad about saying no to it.
Okay.
He can be a parent when he has his kids. You can be a parent when you have the kids. You be cordial. You don't talk shit about one another, you know, and you give them that satisfaction. Be like, listen, you're still their father, and it's really important for me that they respect you. So I promise you, I won't talk shit. I won't talk shit about her, even though it's really hard. Like, I will respect that, but I need you to empathize with the fact that this is hard for me, and I need you to try to, like, not throw it in my face. I need you to try to not like make it harder on me than it is, and give me some time and space and be gracious, and like stop trying to like get him to admit something. Cause I think if you do that, he might be more willing to, I mean, you know the answer, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you know the fucking answer.
Yeah.
You don't need him to admit it, to be honest. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. He knows, she knows, everyone in the community knows. They're all saying it. They're all talking behind his back.
Okay.
Just
well,
know.
Thank you. That's good. I think I need that like validation, because I know that then I think these things, but then I go and talk to him, and then he makes me feel like you're being petty, or you're not doing what's best for the kids.
What does he say? Like, what? Give me an example of how he makes you feel like the bad guy.
Well, like for me firing her, he said I was being selfish and I wasn't putting the kids first, and that I shouldn't have fired her.
He says that now?
That's what he said when it happened.
Okay, well, yeah, but let that go, because clearly he's proved you right.
Yeah. Well, yes. And now he's saying, you know, I should just accept their relationship, and I should just be happy for him. And
he says that?
If I don't let her, you know, be a part of because I resisted, because initially he told me they were dating, and I was like, okay, well, you can see her when you don't have the kids. Like, she doesn't need to be a part of our kids' life. And
that you can't do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can't dictate what he does. I mean, I get, like, I totally get why you said it, but like,
yeah,
that's the thing, is you kind of almost have to be very strategic and just not give him any ammunition. So when you tell him something he can't do that you have no control over, that's giving him ammunition.
Yeah.
So you just have to calmly just ask him to empathize with how you feel. And that, sure, you're like, yeah, if I have to accept it, I will. But like, don't ask me to be happy for you. Please try to put yourself in my shoes. Like,
I literally did say that to him, and he said, no, I'd be okay with it. So,
okay. Well,
whatever.
Well, and then just say, well, I'm not. So can you just try to like, why is this about me being happy for you? Can you try to like, you know, you want me to prioritize your happiness. Can you try to, you know, help me out too? And at the end of the day, it's real simple. You know, like, you're their father, and I trust that you're going to be a good father to them, and do whatever you want. But I don't want to hang out with you guys. So I'll do my thing with our kids, and you do your thing. And let's promise we're not going to talk shit about one another to our kids. But like, I'm not hanging out with you guys, and I'm not going to feel bad about it.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's, you know, it's just hard to realize that your family's not what you wanted it to be, and keep trying to make that work. But then I end up like suffering. Yeah.
You're talking about the idea of something, regardless if there's divorce or not. No family ends up looking the way people imagine it would. Every family has issues. There's tragedy, unfortunately. And, you know, like, you could be married and toxic, or you can be divorced and happy sometimes.
Yeah.
And that could be better for the kids. So like, you have to just try your best, not beat yourself up about like being sad about what could have been or what should have been, you know? Like, you got 4 beautiful children, you know, that a lot of people aren't lucky enough to have. You were able to free yourself from a relationship that by your own admission, like wasn't going the right direction. And at a very early age where you're still like in your prime and you can still go out there and you can date around for a while, even play the field, fuck some guys, have some fun, like live it up. You like, you know what? You've been with one person your whole life. And then around 32, 33, maybe you start like settling down and looking for someone who really makes you happy, you know? So like start thinking about all the opportunities that this situation is going to bring you. And like, you can still be sad about things that didn't go your way, but like you can still be a great mother to your children. You can still have a really positive family dynamic, and maybe it truly is for the best. Like he embarrassed himself. He didn't embarrass you.
Yes, you're right.
So just keep remembering that. And honestly, the fact that he has such a hard time admitting that is him admitting to you he knows he should be embarrassed. Because it's like he can't even acknowledge that. It's so scary for him just to admit it, because then he knows that like everyone's like secretly laughing at him. Like, you fucked the nanny.
Yeah, you're right. No, that's good advice. I need to do more of that. Just focus on, the good that is coming out of it.
And yes, it's going to be hard. It's not always going to be easy. So like give yourself some grace, but there's good that can come from it, and don't beat yourself up. Whether he fucked the nanny or not, it was never going to be how you imagined. All right.
Thank you.
Sorry you're going through this.
Thanks.
It sucks, but I look forward to hearing from you in a year or so, and you letting me know how positively your life has changed for the better.
All right.
Because I'm certain that if you have this mindset, it will be. All right.
You're right. I believe it.
I believe it. All right. All right. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
How's it going?
Good. I am Emily and I'm 28 years old.
How can I help, Emily?
So I'm dealing with some friendship drama. Not drama really, but I just would love your advice. My best friend got out of like a 10-year relationship 2 years ago now. And she got into a new relationship about a year after her breakup of 10 years.
Okay.
Tail all this time, him and I don't get along, or I don't particularly care for him.
The new one.
And the new one. And I don't really know, like, is it my place to say something? I don't know what to do here.
What don't you like about
him? So he doesn't really respect boundaries, both with me and her. Like, for example, I don't drink, and every time I'm with him, he knows that, and he tries to pressure me to drink. I say, doesn't stop. Kind of. So that's personally like,
it's annoying.
Yeah. It's like, I find it a little disrespectful. And then with her, I know he has like pushed some sexual boundaries with her that I know she had pretty set, and he didn't really respect those. She like, I don't really know how much to expose her.
I mean, you're anonymous, so like it's really
okay.
Just say it.
She didn't want to do anal and was very against that. And the next time I talked to her, she was like trying to be very nonchalant about it, and they'd done it. And
how did she feel? I mean, but like, just to be clear, she consented to.
Totally.
Okay.
But just from the experiences I've had with him, knowing that he's like.
Are you combining like his pushiness for you to drink versus his pushiness to?
Totally.
At the end of the day, as long as she consented to it, and like,
even
hopefully
if
he didn't.
Pressured, like.
I mean, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Does she say she was pressured, or are you just assuming she might have been pressured because he's unknowingly pressuring you to drink? I mean, I think that's a slippery slope for you to assume.
Totally agree. I also know how she was a hard no on it prior, and I know she'd said no to him in the past.
Unless she tells you, hey, honestly, I really didn't want to do it. He really made me feel bad. He really pressured me. Well, then I'd be concerned. But
and she kind of avoids the subject, to be honest. She doesn't.
Does she avoid it because she knows that you don't like it, or is she just uncomfortable talking about anal sex?
No. She's very comfortable talking about sex in general. Okay. I think I don't know. She probably is trying to like cover for him or not. I don't think she wants to make him look bad. She loves him. And I don't know. I don't know at what point do you say something as a friend? I support her fully and I love her. I just don't want they jumped into it very, very quickly. And like when I ask her what she likes about him, pretty much all she says is like she likes his job and she likes that he like validates her, but she doesn't really say things that she like qualities about him that she actually likes.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
Has she ever asked you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's never really productive to, it's not going to help your friendship for you to let her know that you don't like him. You have to be a little bit more covert.
Yeah.
You know?
And I've said to her, like, it doesn't really matter whether or not I like him or not. I support you and I just want you to be happy.
Does she know you're not the biggest fan?
I mean, I'm sure we're very close. I'm sure she can like read my energy, but I haven't like outright said I don't like him. I don't feel like that's my place unless I'm asked. Right?
Yeah. Listen, every relationship has its challenges. How long has she been dating this guy for?
A year, and she thinks they're about to get engaged, and that's kind of why I'm calling, because I feel like it's like, yeah. And yeah.
Well, if she thinks she's about to get engaged, it's still tricky because depending on her mindset, you don't want to be a buzzkill. You know, if you think there's a right time, you could have the old like, call it the best friend talk, where it's just like, I just want you to be happy, but like obviously this is a big step. So let's just like talk through it to make sure like this is your forever person.
Okay.
And then you just say something like you say things like, I've always wanted you to be in a relationship where you truly feel loved and you truly feel like you have a partner and you truly feel like you're with someone who, you know, you feel seen, you feel heard, you can get through conflict. And if she says he does all these things, you know what I'm saying? You just kind of like go through down a checklist of like important qualities that you want for her to have in a relationship, you know? Like it's great that he has a job and he can provide, but you know, if that's a priority for you, just want to make sure that you guys have those things. And if you do, then I'm happy for you. I think you have to challenge yourself to make sure that while he's not your favorite, that might have anything to do with their relationship. Like other than this anal situation and the fact that he annoyingly doesn't respect the fact that you don't drink. And even though she can't articulate some things that convince you that she likes him, is it possible that, you know, he's just not your favorite, but at the end of the day, she's happy and he's a pretty decent boyfriend? I
mean, yeah, totally. But is he going to be like a life partner? Is what I just get. I just like.
No, that's for her to decide.
Yeah, totally. I think it's hard when you have. I saw her be devastated from her last breakup, and it's kind of seeing her like replicate that. It's just, I don't know. It's hard seeing someone you love like go through it and from like a bird's eye view, you know what I mean? Like she's so in it that it's hard to like.
How do you think she would respond to you having a girls' night and you know, prefacing it by saying things like, listen, if you're happy, I'm happy. I support if you're happy. I know that engagement's around the corner and I just wanted to like chat with you because I love you so much. Let's talk through the relationship and make sure this is the right for you because I think you deserve the world. There are so many men that would just are dying to be with you type of thing.
Right. Yeah. And I've tried to have these conversations before. Like I've tried to be like, hey, can we talk? And she's pretty avoidant. And then if I do see her in person, it's typically with him. So it's kind of like.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
You have no actual reason to think that she's not safe.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And she's an adult.
Yeah.
And
just like trust her intuition and just kind of like keep my nose out of it kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I guess. Like, if she gives you a window, you can try. Just know that there's risks, right? She might get upset with you, and it could fracture the friendship that you have, and she might push you away. And listen, if I thought my friend was in danger, then I wouldn't care about if they were mad at me. I would just say what I needed to be said at the risk of them being frustrated at me. But you just have to ask yourself, is it just he's not my favorite, and she's happy? You're not her mom or her dating coach or her life coach. Yeah. If she's not asking, it's tough to remind her that she is making similar decisions for herself that she made in past relationship, and she's not learning as much as she could or should. You know, that's for her to figure. How old is she?
30. Okay. And I think she's feeling the pressure of 30.
Has she said that, or you're just assuming?
Yeah, no, she said that. Okay. She's like, well, I'm 30, like, and we've been dating for a year, so I think it's time. Like,
well, I think if she says stuff like that, that's a window for you to say, listen, again, if you're happy, but like you are too wonderful and too like eligible a person to settle regardless of their age. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying you are settling, but when you say things like that, it implies that you're willing to settle. And I would hate that for you. If she says that, that's a little bit of a window for you to just check in and reinforce without bringing really him up, to just reinforce a mindset that you want her to have. I empathize that you're in this 10-year relationship and you got into something, but like these are just two men we're talking about.
Yeah.
In a world full of them. You know? So
totally.
I just want you to be happy, and I want to make sure that you are choosing who you want to spend the rest of your life with, that you're just not being chosen. Because you're 30. And you could say that. Even that comes with risk, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's super good advice.
So to me, I don't know in the context which she said that, but to me that could be her like internal self, if you will, acknowledging that she has some reservations about this relationship, but her fears of being alone, or that's possible.
Yeah.
So like that would be a chance to maybe ask a few questions. That's not the time to be like, oh yeah, good, you said it, I fucking hate him, break up. Like you don't say that, and you more make it about her mindset rather than about him. And you just make sure that she really believes in herself, and you validate her. She clearly likes validation, so validate the shit out of her when you do this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I get worried that she like is so afraid to go through the breakup stages again that she's just, like you said, like she's just settling for this again. Like,
did he break up with her? The first one?
No, she did, because she wasn't getting the validation, but it was kind of ongoing. And she actually, while she was with the new boyfriend, when she was drunk once, she told me, she was like, I'm still in love with.
Have you talked to her about the fact that like it just bugs you that he doesn't respect the fact that you don't drink?
No.
Well, why
she like
do that? I mean, that's a legitimate gripe. Just be like, hey, not an end of the world, but like Matt always just is like, I don't drink. It's just like, it's fine. I understand he wants to party. It just makes me feel like he doesn't respect me, and I want to have a relationship with your boyfriend. And you say it nicely, and I mean, if nothing else, maybe she can just talk to him and he'll stop doing that.
Right. Okay.
It's a justifiable reason to be annoyed, and it's a way to like politely let her know that like, I find that annoying, and therefore I find him annoying. I don't want to be annoyed by the person you're with. So could you, and
that's a me thing too. Like I don't want it to be like,
but you have a right to like, I mean, it's just annoying after a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's totally annoying.
If every time he shames you because you don't drink, that's shut the fuck up.
Yeah. 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 Totally.
And she should be able to like understand that.
And she does. Sometimes she's like, no, she's good. Like she doesn't drink, like reminding him for the 50th time.
So
you know what I mean?
You have the right to say to her, like, listen, I thank you, by the way, for always like standing up for me when you're around it, but can you just ask him to stop? Because I don't, it makes me kind of hate him. Because it makes me feel like he doesn't really respect my choices, and I don't want to feel that way. Say that.
Do I bring this up
see what
in like
says.
Conversation with her? Like,
I don't want to call her up just to say it if you can help it.
Right.
Did you guys ever get together for girls' nights? Can you just
she moved across a couple states
with him.
So now it's like phone. I see her every once in a while.
He reached out to me like, hey, like I miss you. Like, how about you come visit me? And like, we'll have like a girls' weekend and set something up and make it totally about that. And don't have it be the first thing you bring up, but that could be a nice weekend for her to like check in with you, check in with her, and tell her you miss her.
And then just if it comes up organically, just kind of like use that as my in.
It doesn't have to be organic. You'd be like, hey, can I just ask you something? Can you just, he does this.
Okay.
Next time I see him, I don't want to like, can you not bug me about that?
Okay.
If you say that, then see if she gives you another window.
Yeah. Love that. That's awesome advice. Thank you.
It's tough, because.
Yeah, it is tough. I love her, and I just simply want the best for her. And it's just a weird situation I don't know how to navigate it. So.
I think address the thing that's actually bugging you with her, which is a valid thing, and see where that goes.
Okay, cool.
But you might find when she visits that she actually is in fact really happy. And you bring this up and she's like, yeah, you know what? That is annoying. I'll talk with him and make sure he doesn't do that in the future. And you're like, okay, thank you. And then maybe the next time you see him, he says, hey, I'm sorry about doing that.
Okay.
Like that was kind of disrespectful and I shouldn't have done that. And that would probably make you feel good if he does that, who knows?
Totally.
So I think address the actual problem that you're having with him and see if that changes your perspective, and also see when you address it, if she opens some doors for some doubts that she seems to be having about the relationship, and use it as an opportunity to ask more questions and validate her.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let us know how it goes.
I will.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
How's it going?
It's good. My name is Brooke, and I am 26 years old.
How can I help, Brooke?
Okay, so I've basically lived in the same place all of my life. I went away for college, but it was only like 2 hours away, so I could basically drive home anytime I wanted. And then after college, I got the opportunity to get my master's degree at a smaller university where I'm from. And so I did that, and I've worked my way up within the university, and I'm finally like at a job that I really, really love. And so basically what I'm trying to get to is like, I'm very close with my family. All of my siblings have gotten married, had babies, and it's been nice because my mom's parents passed away recently. And so it was nice being here for that. But it feels like a lot of the times that I'm standing on the sidelines, like cheering them on and watching them all get married and stuff. And I don't know if I'm not unhappy where I'm at all. I love my job and I like being close, but sometimes I feel like maybe I just need to move away, or maybe I'm just comfortable and content where I am, or maybe I'm just fearful of it. I'm not really sure. So I know that you can't make this decision for me. I just like an outsider's perspective, because of course my family's going to all tell me to stay here, and
they do. I mean, not all families are like that, but they are pretty. You've had these conversations with them about these thoughts and feelings, or anxiety that you might be having.
Kind of. So there's more to it. Not really relationship wise, but it is kind of a smaller city. And of course I grew up here, so I know a lot of the people already here. I've dated around and whatnot, but specifically there's one person that is from here that no longer lives here that I've had kind of like a texting situationship with for like 2 years now.
2 years?
For almost 2 years.
And
yeah.
It's
he
just
was like
texting. Like, have you guys ever have you hooked up?
We've never hooked up. I mean, we've made out on occasion, but I've only seen him like once a year these past 2 years because he's training in the Navy.
Okay.
And so he's actually my older brother's best friend. And so that's why it was always that situation.
Do people know about it?
Yes, everybody knows about it. And we talk about pursuing something, but at this point we've been talking for like 2 years where
like, who knows?
Exactly.
But like, it sounds, he's off doing his thing. He's exploring the world. Maybe he comes back, but like, you have truly no idea.
Yeah. And I think we have that agreement. That's why we just kind of text. It's like, we're not exclusive, so I'm not going to tell you not to go on dates, but like, we always will have each other to like lean back on. And I'm like, I've talked about this with my family, like, maybe I am just kind of in a different life stage as everybody else. And not that I am totally okay with like third wheeling with like my married friends and everything, but sometimes they want to be surrounded by people that are in their life stage. And so when I talk to like my family about it, my dad's like, why don't you just follow wherever and move wherever you want? But I truly do love my job here, and I don't know if I could find one like this. And I'm kind of introverted, so I don't know if I would be comfortable enough to step out and meet people. Mm-hmm.
How close are you to like major cities?
I'm in the South. Okay. The closest big city is probably like big city is probably like 5 hours away.
Okay. You have a lot of friends who live in other parts of the country other than Navy boy?
I do, but they're all also married. So, but it would be different kind of in a bigger city. I feel like I just don't know if I would still step out and go meet people where there are more single people, just not my friends.
Like, what about your job is irreplaceable in terms of like what you
Yeah.
do?
So this is like kind of the job that I always wanted to have. And I am very young for my position, which also kind of adds to the insecurity because everyone is married with kids in my
You're just
position
around
as
a bunch
well.
of older people.
Yes, basically. But it's just the job that I always wanted. And I've worked my way up within this school to where if I moved somewhere else, I don't know if I would look the part. Like, I have my network here, and that's kind of how I got my job here. And so that's what makes me nervous, but I could potentially try it out somewhere else. I'm just comfortable here. There you go.
You have a good relationship with the people you work with?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're only 26, and I get, you're introverted and you're comfortable. But like, having been someone who's at times, like I can relate to the feeling you have, not necessarily specifically, but like eventually why I moved, because, I was a little older than you are now, and it wasn't specifically about this job. And I had the benefit of, I was working in sales, so I felt like I could find a different sales job in other cities. So like, that's not quite the same. But just the feeling of being like, well, everyone got married. And I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend at the time. So it was like, I need to, change things up because they're kind of going a different direction than I am. I always say to people in your shoes, like, you can always move back, and you have this obviously dream job, which makes it a little harder, right? Because it's like, you're actually giving up something if you move. Most of the time in people in your shoes, it's hard enough because, they're moving, they're leaving friends and family, they're the comfort of their community. They're going to a strange place, not knowing many people, having any friends. Add the fact that you're a bit introverted to the equation makes it that much more challenging. So even without giving up the dream job, it's not that hard to spin it as a very like, I don't know if I could do this, type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is I never would have gone on The Bachelor if it weren't for the people who I worked for at the time being really supportive of the fact that like, hey, we think you're great, but like, you should chase this. And if it doesn't work out, you have a home here, but we get the bigger picture. And I was really grateful for that. And I'm just wondering, do you have the relationship, as much as they might hate to lose you? Do you think there are people where you work where, nothing's guaranteed and things change, but if you came back in a year or two after giving it, a shot and you just missed home, or maybe you and Navy Boy started talking and he's like, I'm moving home, and you guys fell in love, I don't fucking know. You came back and said, I'm back. I don't know if you get your same job, but could you work for the same place and then maybe have to invest a year to get back to where you were, And I guess what I'm saying is now, like, you're the youngest people in your profession. That's great. That's something to be proud of, that you've really done that. And I'm sure there's a sense of pride and people are proud of you and you're doing great things. But would your life be horrific if you were in the same place that you are now 4 years from now, but in between those 4 years, you moved to a different city, tried new things, and maybe you didn't advance your career? Like, you could have been like, well, have I not moved, I'd be making a little bit more and have a slightly different job. But what I did gain is, whatever adventure you took, however it went, good or bad.
Yeah.
And it just might be something to consider. I always thought of moving. As someone who grew up in Milwaukee, had a large family, I was always reluctant to like leave my younger siblings. I had a great group of friends. I had all these reasons I was very comfortable. I had fun. I enjoyed where I lived. And it always seemed daunting to move. But once I did, it was like, I remember being like, that wasn't that hard. At least even the move of it all, right? And then I have introverted aspects. I do like going out. I'm not that introverted, but like I definitely have some strong introverted characteristics. And, I was lucky enough to find a job where it was fairly social. And that was a prior for me. Like, I worked from home. It was awesome. My boss lived in Kansas City. I could do it kind of whatever the fuck I want. As long as I got my shit done, amazing. Good money. But I wasn't meeting anyone. I wasn't interacting with people. I didn't feel like I was like getting like good coaching, and I didn't think I was advancing my career. So when I got a job, I wanted to get a job that was in the office. I wanted to get a job that had more people my age who were young professionals. And that was awesome. And I found that and it was great. And I'm really glad I did. And so while this might be a great job, there's definitely might be opportunities out there that you also just as like. It might take a little bit more work. It might take longer than you want. And it might not go the way you want, but I'm certain that if you do it, you'll be glad you did. When I decided to take some risks without any answers, I came back to the thing that really has stuck with me ever since I moved. If I bet on myself. If I do things the right way, if I work hard, if I'm willing to do the extra work, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get it perfect, but if I respond to failure well, what are the chances of me getting what I want work? And that was just like, I'm just going to bet on me. I'm going to be willing to put in the work. I'm going to be willing to go through whatever like lulls of like loneliness or sadness. I'm going to push myself. And if I do that, what does this look like? Am I willing to do that? And I was, and it worked out. It sounds like you have like some determination, and where you've gotten to this point in your life is based off of what you were able to do. And if you're able to apply that same mentality and work ethic to other aspects of your life, my guess is it'll work out. How it will work out, I don't know. And it won't be without like disappointment and failure along the way. But my guess is you can always come home, and you can always put in the work to get back to where you were.
Yeah. I definitely agree. And I think that's why I did write in knowing you, because I knew you grew up in Milwaukee and then moved, and you've mentioned you're an introvert. And so that's why I figured you'd have good advice. But that's kind of what I tell people, like that I don't really have a specific required reason to stay, but I also don't really have a reason to leave. And so that's where I'm always like, if I don't do it, I feel like I'll probably always have that what if.
You have reasons to stay and you have reasons to leave. Right.
Yeah.
And listing out what those are, I think will really help you. And your reasons for stay are obviously family, friends, comfort, the job you love, right? Reasons to stay is, well, these are all great. My personal life, my relationships in life, I feel like there's not the opportunity that I could be out there. There's a sense of adventure I haven't really given myself. And these are all really important things. I want to like look back on my life and know that I did that, even if it's for the experience alone. And that can be something gained. And then you figure out, well, what is the cost of maybe doing that? Well, the cost is discomfort of moving, missing family, quitting a dream job. But like, could you maybe get that dream job back down the road, especially if you worked harder? Could you find a different version of this job through some extra work, and maybe that requires like a part-time job. I don't know. Like there's a cost to everything. And you just have to ask yourself, am I willing to put in the work, or am I willing to do the extra work? Am I willing to like accept whatever the cost comes with these decisions? In my case, it was very much worth it, and I was definitely willing to put in the work, and I never went home.
Yep. I think talking it out is much better for me, but I think in my life now, being the youngest one kind of in my position, I am very satisfied with that side of my life, to where now I'm so ready for what all of my siblings and everyone's doing that I feel like I might need to step out. And yes, I can always come back.
There's something in your gut that's telling you this. For me, and everyone's different, but like I never wanted to be the biggest fish in a small pond. Every time I felt like a big fish in a small pond, I tried to find a new pond.
That's a good way to look at it.
That's just me. Not everyone's the same. There are plenty of people who like being the big fish in a small pond, and that works for them. And that's great. That was just never me.
I don't think that I'm a big fish here at all. I think I just know all the fish.
Sure. But I guess what I'm saying is like, where you're at, like it sounds like, like I'm sure there's people who are like pretty impressed by you and brag on you and you're really impressive. And here's this, young, very talented, hardworking woman who's like, probably trying to get set up with all these people. And, I'm not saying like you walk outside and they're rolling out the red carpet, but it sounds like at this point in your life, that sense of accomplishment, like it's like you have everything, but what you don't have is also so important, And so you have to, it's like that fear of giving up on all these professional things that you accomplish in school and you work so hard. And it's like, I've done everything I wanted to do and I've accomplished that. But take that work ethic that you applied to where you got now and apply to other aspects of your life. And I'm guessing how you got to where you are now wasn't always easy, and it had its challenges and it had its ups and downs, et cetera, et cetera. And that will happen. And at 26 years old, do you want your toughest challenges behind you? That's kind of boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I know when we're younger, it's just like you don't want to feel poor and you just want to have that comfort of like what you see older people have. But like, I don't know, sometimes I miss it. So just enjoy it. And if you feel challenged, I encourage you to seek out that challenge.
Yeah. I think writing in just proves to me that there's something within me that wants to go. So I appreciate all your advice. Yeah, it's great.
Between now and then, make sure you're really cultivating relationships at the place where you're working, and always, get a couple allies and mentors, people you can keep in touch with, especially from back home, because you never know. Don't burn bridges. And I think it'll all work out.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Right.
Yes. I appreciate it.
Well, in a couple of years, let us know how it goes.
I'll just write a book and send it your way.
Update us every now and then on how things are going.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@castme.com, cast with a K. We'll see you tomorrow talking about people having sex on a reality TV show. Or not. Maybe they're talking. I don't know. See how it goes. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos like our Tuesday Bachelor recaps and Wednesday celebrity and expert interviews. See you next time.